bunch of stocks surging as we speak, and one of them is Anand Rathi as well. After reporting a good set of numbers, the stock up almost in near double digits growth, because the growth for the company has been double digits sequentially as well. We have with us Rakesh Rawal, who's the CEO of the company, joining in to discuss the quarter that went by. Thanks a lot, Mr. Rawal, for joining in. Just a couple of data points that we needed to know from you before we talk about the year forward. What exactly were your MLD issuances in the previous quarter? And you've almost done 26-27% of your entire year's guidance in the first quarter. Would you like to revise that guidance upwards?
The MLD issuances were in the same proportion as have been done in the past. And therefore, the ratio of our MLD income to our mutual fund income is directionally the same. So it's not that the extras are on account of just the MLDs. That's the first point that I want to make. The second point on the guidance is that we have a conservative approach to giving guidance. Last year also, I think in the first quarter, we had done about 26-27%. So the policy that we have is that we should do very well in the first quarter, so that the pressure of meeting numbers is not sort of kept for the last quarter, so to say. And that builds in a certain degree of happiness index right through the year. Otherwise, most companies who leave it to the end face pressures and stresses, which in our culture, we try and avoid.
All right. Hi, sir. Morning. Thanks so much for joining in. Could you give us the absolute number, though, in terms of MLD issuances for the past quarter?
I think it's in the range of about 1,100 or 1,200 gross.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that number. I'm looking at your expenditure, and the total expenditure is up by close to around 22% on a sequential basis and up by more than 30% on a year-on-year basis. Any kind of one-offs, any kind of, big bonus or something that you all have given? Or no one-offs at all in OPEX?
No one-offs. I think it's we have a formula-driven bonus system for our employees. And therefore, if it's directionally variable, and therefore, if my top line is up 34% as compared to last year, then several of the costs will also be up. Of course, not to say that there is no scope for operating leverage, but it is limited.
Right. What's the organic client addition? And the reason why I ask this is because, your active family is up 4.7%. But a large part of that could also be on account of the way the market has moved as well. Because I remember the last quarter we spoke to you, that time the number was lower, and you said that number drops as the portfolio of the client drops below 50 lakh as a threshold. But now, over the last 3 months, the market's been good. I presume a lot of them would go back above that 50 lakh threshold as well. So if you adjust for that, what exactly is that number?
I don't exactly know that number, but I think that the larger point is that are we having a business momentum of acquisitions, right? And my own sense is that given the performances of the clients' portfolios, which are extremely positive, the spate of references continue to be very, very high. And the momentum on acquisition is, again, very, very heartening. Yeah.
So do we see a 10,000 number by the end of this year? Just want to understand that.
Well, I will not be surprised if we get there. It's quite, in my opinion, quite likely, but let's see how it goes.
All right. Sir, in your annual report, you have taken approvals for MLDs up to around 1,500 crores from Anand Rathi Financials, the parent entity. Give us more details on that. What's the plan out there? What is the rationale?
See, the rationale is that it's a question of having, various, if there's a company which has capital and one of the parent companies has capital, and using that capital, if we can, create some lending in terms of the MLDs, the overall expertise in managing MLDs exists in the group. And therefore, we've, for good order's sake, we've taken that particular approval, not that too much has been issued from that company.
Right. Could you give us a sense of where you, see money going, since you manage money of a lot of, wealthy people? Markets are at an all-time high. There are a lot of emerging trends. People are looking at various asset classes. What's the sentiment on the ground like?
Well, I think the entire strategy is emanating from the client's objectives. The client's objectives that the clients that we have is 12 to 14% return. And at this point in time, as like in the past, to get to that objective, you have to have 50, 60% in equities, right? And that's where that's also reflected in the 47% of our overall assets in equity assets. Yeah. So is that likely to change just because markets are at an all-time high? Our view is no, right? And we have seen all-time highs in the past, and we with time get to new all-time highs, right? And therefore, as long as there is corporate growth happening in the companies, new highs will be created in time. And therefore, if you retain your asset allocation, you'll get your 12, 13%, which is how client portfolios have behaved over the last 10, 15 years.
Right.
So
and
no change in strategy for clients.
Take that point. Final question before we let you go, sir. How do you see these new age technology-led business verticals? I mean, there is digital wealth, Omni financial advisors. How are they faring? What are the operating metrics for that like? And at some point, will you look at value unlocking there?
Well, it's very, very early stages. I think that these companies, as far as I'm concerned, there's just proof of concept at the moment, right? Whether we are able to successfully, create large momentum behind it is a question mark today. And as and when, if we can find ways and means of creating large value and large volumes, then the question of value unlocking will come in. But at this point in time, they're moving in the right direction. The good news is that I'm not burning any more cash. However, whether the strategy is I can say is successful or not is a question mark. And with time, as and when that question is answered, we will value unlock.
What are the metrics? You said you're not burning any cash. What's the run rate it is going at right now?
Well, I'm saying that today I'm creating a profit in those companies. So therefore, in the beginning, for example, when we started these businesses, the revenues were far lower than costs, and therefore I was burning cash. Now we're creating profits, small profits, but no cash burn is there. So no capital infusion is required at the moment. That's what I
take that point. Thank you so much for joining in and giving us the details for your numbers. Wish you good luck for the remainder of this year as well.